Oh, what's up, Rabbit Savages? I didn't see you there.
Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Daniel here with Mindset Monday. Not Monday Mindset? Yeah, that's correct. So, Mindset Monday. We're going to get into episode 3, and it's a continuation off of everything we've been talking about, sort of, but this is going to be language, and I know I kind of mentioned those weasel words or weakness words. And this is off of a book that I'm reading right now, so know that any of this information that I'm thinking about or getting out to you guys, it's all learned information. I don't just organically create this stuff, even though that'd be pretty cool, but I'm not that smart. So ways to be smarter, learn, right? So that's what I'm trying to do, and hopefully what I learn, I'm getting out to you guys, and then it's helping y'all also. It's definitely stuff I take into my own daily practice or how I interact with others. And if I think it's helpful, then it's something I'm going to share. So kind of we'll get into language and how much it matters and how it can set limiters with ourselves. And that's probably not something we want to be doing. It can also hit within your central nervous system, right? So just using a word can cause a stress response within our bodies. And I think we could all think about how true that could be. Even if it's like a name, like you thinking about a name of a person, hey, all you gotta do is think of their name and say it, and you start to get all tense and heated up, right? So we have to be careful with the words we tell ourselves, especially these 4 words I'm gonna go over, and trying to just take them out of our daily language and being truthful with when we do use them, being as truthful as possible. So keeping integrity with ourselves, right? That's huge. Keeping integrity with others. So again, if we're confusing the conscious brain with the subconscious brain by using a word, for example, if I use try, if I'm being truthful with myself and I'm actually trying the best I can, then it's an okay word to use, right? But what is it doing in our subconscious brain? So do we actually want to use it? Are we confusing the two brains? So in your subconscious brain, try presupposes failure. And so do we want to create that option of failure ever? Probably not, right? So don't confuse your two brains, and then think of affirmations, right? Like your desires, what you desire could be an affirmation you tell yourself. And so this kind of boils into self-fulfilling prophecies. If you're doubting yourself, you're probably going to be right. If you're thinking someone's doing something and they're not, but you start to create actions that you end up doing to make them respond that way, even though that's not their first intention or what wasn't even happening, they weren't even doing that thing, you created it. That's a weird concept, but it happens. It's happened to me before. Anytime you don't trust someone and they're not actually lying to you, but you end up causing them to by how you're being. That's a crazy concept, but it happens all the time. So let's just jump into it. The first word is going to be try, and I just said it's like presupposes failure. So it gives you a way out. Do we actually ever want that way out? Probably not, right? So if I say, hey, I'm going to try to make that meeting, but I really don't want to, and I know I'm not going to, I just say it to, make it not look as bad on me, then I'm not having integrity with myself. And that alone, not having integrity with yourself, causes a whole bunch of issues. So if you can't trust yourself, if you can't trust what you tell yourself, and that you always break your own truths, right? You always break the things that you tell yourself. That can cause a whole list of issues, and that's a whole nother topic. But just have integrity with people. If you're actually not going to try to make that meeting, that, be truthful. If you have something else going on, be truthful. If you just don't want to, be truthful. You can still be kind, and if they don't respect that, then they don't respect you, right? And I think people respect truth more than they do you using weaseling yourself out of it, right? So there is no try, only do. I think that's a quote we've all heard, and try to take that into your daily lives. Don't try to, just do it. See, I do it all the time myself. So, again, just kindly say no. And if it's actually something that you're trying, you're giving your best effort, just switch the word out, right? Say, I'm going to lift that barbell, rather than I'm going to try to lift that barbell, or I'm going to try to do this. Don't try, just do it. Give it your best, and just take the word out. And if you fail, that's okay also. There's a learning lesson in that failure. Need, that's the second one. Need implies survival, and it's a primal instinct that goes deep within our subconscious brain. And so, do we actually need something? So we need food and water. I mean, what else do we actually need? Some of us need some medication. Some of us need some certain types of things in our lives to keep us going. You know what I mean. What we actually need is few and far between. And so, even if your conscious brain knows better, your primitive brain is going to think you're going to die without getting what you need. So be super careful with how you're using that word. Do you need to go to work? Do you need to go do that thing? No, you want to, or you choose to, or you decide to. So try to use those three words instead. Third one is bad. Bad creates like a psychological and biochemical reaction in the body. So if something is truly bad, we're perceiving it as in a certain way, right? So if it's a person we're saying is bad, or a thing, or a place, we're perceiving it in our brain as in a certain way. But there's also like a biochemical thing that's happening there too. So your reaction is to something bad should be like complete avoidance. And is that necessary for all the things that we label as bad? So we label some foods as bad, we label some people as bad. That implies that there's zero good coming out of that person, right? So is that true for everyone? And is bad a matter of perspective, rather? So be careful with what you call bad, and just make sure that no good can come from whatever you're saying is bad. And really be truthful with yourself on that. And especially if you have kids and stuff, like if you're telling them all these things are bad, like what is actually bad? And why is it bad? And have you actually thought about why it's bad? So that's a tricky one, I think, for a lot of us. The last one's going to be can't. And can't absolutely means it's not possible. And how many things are actually not possible? Humans throughout our time have constantly created innovation, and without innovation we wouldn't have all this technology that we have. We wouldn't have vehicles, we wouldn't have this phone that I'm recording things on to relay my thoughts to other people, and I guarantee you someone thought that that wasn't possible at one time or another, and they thought that they couldn't do it, right? So using that word robs you of choice, and it absolutely ruins being innovative. So you want to be very careful with what you label as can't. So don't say you can't pick up that barbell. Maybe you aren't able to today, but that just requires you to get stronger. It requires you to eat better, sleep better, recover better, whatever that might be for you. Doesn't mean you can't do it, just means not right now, not right this second. Maybe you just need some help, like if something is something, if you can't do something right now, like truly cannot, then do you need help to accomplish the task? So should you seek help? Are you comfortable seeking help? Are you comfortable leaning on others? Do you just need some tools that will aid you in accomplishing that thing that you don't think you can do? So is it a literal tool? Is it some advice? Whatever kind of tool you might need. If you don't know how to, do you just need the education? Do you need to be taught how to? Do you need to be shown how to, etc.? Or you just simply don't want to. So don't say, oh, I can't do this today. If you could, you just don't want to. So that goes back to being, having integrity with yourself and being truthful to people. So that's all for those words. what I do is I literally changed it in my phone to anytime I type, you can go in there and edit this in your iPhones or probably any other phone. But anytime I type one of these words, it auto corrects it into like some crazy word I made it instead. And I'm like, whoa, I don't want to say that. Or I get mad that I'm trying to say it and it won't let me say it. And so this is a constant reminder anytime I'm communicating through text or like searching the internet or whatever, it won't let me type that word. And it even went into my iPad also. So you do this on your laptops, you could do it in your emails to where you never can type those words, right? Also just setting up some kind of practice that will create a habit, right? So creating a habit or mastery, like we've talked about, is your way to accomplish taking some of these words out of your language. And it starts by just being mindful, but it needs way more than that. You've got to create some sort of practice to remind yourself until it becomes a habit. That's all for this one. Give us a follow on our Instagram page. It's Ravage_CrossFit. Our YouTube page is Ravage CrossFit. And our Facebook page is Ravage CrossFit. And we are Ravage CrossFit. Cool. Thanks, guys.